foot has to say down inside the spin, outside.
In the high-stakes world of bull riding, where every moment matters, legends are created in an instant. What if, however, one of those legends never survived? He was the rodeo world's golden kid, a champion with a golden heart and a temperament as wild as the bulls he rode. Lane Frost was worshipped by fans, esteemed by competitors, and adored by everyone he knew. But one fateful day in Cheyenne, everything changed. In a sport where margins of errors are extremely tiny, one mistake can mean the difference between life and death. What was actually going on during those last terrifying moments? How could a bright young man with the world at his feet come to such a sad end? Today, we'll look at the story of Lane Frost's final ride and why his narrative continues to haunt the rodeo community to this day. In the heart of Oklahoma, where the skies are endless and the land reaches as far as the eye can see, a legend emerged. Lane Clyde Frost was born on October 12, 1963, and he was destined to leave an imprint on history unlike any other. Lane was captivated by the cowboy lifestyle from an early age. Raised on a ranch, he learned the importance of hard labor, determination, and resilience. Lane stood out not only because of his hard ethic, but also because of his natural talent and passion for rodeo. By the time Lane entered high school, he had established himself as no average rider. He began competing in junior rodeos and rapidly established himself as a formidable competitor. His ability and fearlessness on the back of a bull were evident, and his contagious smile wowed spectators everywhere he went. At the tender age of 24, Lane accomplished the feat that most cowboys can only imagine. He won the title of Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association World Champion Bull Rider in 1987. As the world watched, Lane Frost evolved from a champion to a representation of the cowboy dream. But Lane was not your average cowboy riding a bull. He was a spouse, a friend, and to many, a hero. Lane, who is well known for his genuine personality and constant smile, never allowed his success to get to him. Inside and outside the rodeo arena, he was well liked for his compassion and friendliness. Every ride, every hug, every encouraging remark, Lane Frost had a lasting impression on the rodeo community. He was riding for something greater and more profound than merely winning. However, legends also face challenges, and the biggest obstacle still awaited Lane, a challenge that would put his skill to the test as well as his survival. At the pinnacle of his career in 1989, rodeo star Lane Frost's name was a byword for brilliance. But even for a champion, each ride was a new challenge and each rodeo a new chance to prove himself. That summer, Cheyenne was the end of the road. Known as the daddy of them all, the Cheyenne Frontier Days was more than just a regular rodeo. It was the culmination of the season and the feat that every cowboy aspired to accomplish. Cheyenne held special meaning for Lane. It was an opportunity to solidify his legacy, take on the hardest bulls, and demonstrate to the world why he was the current champion. However, when the sun rose on July 30th, 1989, nobody could have predicted the disaster that was about to unfold. On that fateful day, Lane was partnered with Taking Care of Business, an 1,800-pound beast of nature known for being unpredictable and violent. It was a contest that promised thrills but also a great deal of risk. It was a thrilling scene as Lane got ready for his trip. The tension and excitement among the throng of the prospect of either grandeur or calamity was palpable. While Lane had previously encountered strong bulls before, something about this particular day seemed off, even foreboding. With every triumph, Lane demonstrated his ability to take on challenges and triumph over any obstacle. However, in the sport of rodeo, fate is constantly lurking in the background, ready to quickly convert victory into tragedy. All eyes were on Lane Frost when the gates opened and the rodeo got underway. This was not just another ride. Rather, it was a turning point in his life that would eventually determine his career. The stakes had never been higher, the stage was set, and the audience was primed. But even the greatest may fail in rodeo, and on that fateful day in Cheyenne, the world would see the unimaginable. It was now time. The world held its breath as Lane plopped down onto Taking Care of Business. All that mattered in those few seconds was Lane, the bull, and the journey ahead. The gates soared open, and Lane found himself on the ride of his life in an instant. The difference between a champion and the rest is 8 seconds, the amount of time needed to secure a score. And Lane persevered. As he consistently did, displaying the poise and tenacity that had elevated him to legendary status. But this was no ordinary bull. Taking Care of Business was an unpredictable and ferocious bull that had never been rode for an entire 8 seconds. However, Lane succeeded in defeating the bull, and as he dismounted, the audience cheered loudly, signaling the end of his quest. However, the ride is not where the danger ends in a rodeo. As Lane disembarked, his moment of relaxation transformed into a nightmare. The bull, not yet completed, surged at Lane with a power that no one expected. In a short second, the unthinkable occurred. The bull's horns struck Lane in the back, breaking his ribs and puncturing a crucial artery. Lane, the cowboy who had faced innumerable bulls, lay lifeless in the dirt of the ring. It was too late to save him, even with the quick efforts. For a brief moment, Lane stood up and let his friends know he was all right, but it was his final bravery. Lane Frost, the essence of rodeo, vanished in an instant. The cheers of celebration that had filled the arena moments earlier suddenly subsided. Everyone in the rodeo community, fans, riders, and other participants, were well aware that they had recently lost a rider. Nothing would ever be the same when this legend fell. Lane Frost not only lost his life in those last minutes, but he also left behind a legacy and a tale that would be remembered and replayed for many years to come. However, the sorrow of that day and the loss of a real cowboy hero would never go away. The rodeo world had lost more than simply a champion. They lost a friend, a mentor, and a beacon of hope. The news spread like wildfire, as spectators and other cowboys struggled to accept the devastating news that Lane was no longer with them. Rodeo venues all around the nation fell silent in remembrance. However, tragedy gave Lane's story a new lease on life, one that would inspire and safeguard generations to come. For anyone who knew him, Lane was more than simply a horseman. He was a source of inspiration and the epitome of what it meant to be a cowboy. His love for bull riding was unrivaled, his humility disarming, and his humor contagious. The legacy of Lane expanded in the years that followed. At the Cheyenne Frontier Days Arena, where he had sacrificed everything to follow his goal, a bronze statue was built in his honor. However, Lane's legacy endures not only in bronze but also in the hearts of everyone who rides in his honor. Change began after Lane's death. The rodeo community implemented new safety regulations, such as the requirement to wear protective vests in an effort to avert another catastrophe. Even though Lane was never able to make use of them, his sacrifice made sure that cowboys would be better protected when they rode in the future. But Lane's influence extends beyond security. Even now, new riders look up to him as a role model, representing what it is to ride with passion, to live fearlessly, and to pursue your dreams with all of your might. Even though Lane Frost rode his last bull, his legacy lives on in every cowboy who takes a chance in the ring. True legends never die. They live on in the tales we tell, the lives they touch, and the transformations they inspire. His life, his passion, and his untimely death serve as a reminder of all of this. Taking Care of Business, 1,800 pounds of unbridled might and ferocity. This was no ordinary bull, at least not until that fateful day in Cheyenne. Even the finest of the best could not stand up to him due to his surprising actions and unwavering power. And after that fateful day, Taking Care of Business became more than just another bull. He became a rodeo legend in and of himself, inextricably linked to the legacy of Lane Frost. Some labeled him as cursed, while others saw him as a force of nature, unstoppable and uncontrollable. The bull carried on with his rodeo career, with every show serving as a warning to riders about the risks they must take. The crowd waited with bated breath, knowing the bull had a lethal heritage, and the cowboys who drew Taking Care of Business knew that they were in for the fight of their lives. At the end of the day, Lane Frost represented more than just winning. He was a representation of what it means to genuinely live for what you love, to meet every obstacle head-on, and to make an enduring impression on the world. Lane's story will be recounted for decades, teaching us all about the cost of excellence and the resilience of the human spirit. So, as we bid farewell to this cowboy icon, remember that heroes may die, but their spirit lives on in the hearts of those they inspired. Thank you for watching. If you were touched by Lane's story, honor his memory by sharing this video. Subscribe to receive more inspirational stories of bravery and legacy, and live your life with the same unwavering courage that Lane Frost brought to every experience.